KZ dropped a new budget IEM. This time it belongs to their EDX series, which already has a few different entries out there, but I haven't listened to any of them before. But this is their newest one, the EDX Pro X. It's around 17 euro here in Germany, so really cheap. But is it good? Let's find out and get right into it with build quality. Well, this is just 17 bucks here in Germany, but if you buy it directly from Linso, I guess it's even cheaper. It's around like 10 or 11, but it's still an okay build. Obviously, it's just plastic, and this has got to be one of the lightest IEMs I've ever bought, but still, it has this nice see-through shell that's gotten pretty standard design-wise in the IEM world. Yeah, there you can see it's completely see-through. And then you have this kind of cool little back plate here with the name and the label on it. And the KZ logo, of course. It's also available in different colors, which is always a good thing in my eyes, because then you have some designs for people who want something more fancy and for the ones who want something less fancy. The cable is just a typical KZ thing you have seen in 1,000 KZ reviews before. I guess for the cheap price you cannot really say anything bad about that. You do also get some silicone ear tips with the EDX Pro X, but I did use some other ones. As you can see here, the ones you get are like just white, because I did not really like the ones that came with the Pro X. I mean, it's just you get what you pay for. If you have some other ones laying around at home, you should use these. Comfort is gonna be a pretty small section here, because these are just pretty comfortable. They do not have an unpleasant feel when I'm wearing them. It's still a pretty secure fit, and it was easy to get a good seal here, and these are really light. You do not feel them at all like in your ear, or there's no weight, nothing. It's really nice to wear these. It was kind of easy to get fitting ear tip here, so I can only compliment KZ here for making these so comfortable at this price range. Sound wise, the EDX Pro X have a nicely balanced, warm and somewhat V-shaped sound profile. There are no big peaks or hugely emphasized frequencies besides the somewhat boosted bass, and it's rather smooth from bass to treble. So let's go through the frequencies here, and let's start with the bass. Again, bass is nicely emphasized but not extremely so. It's pretty punchy, and you certainly get a nice amount of extra body. There's quite a bit of boom behind every bass hit, but it's not too muddy, and even does keep up with double bass drum beats most of the time, so it's definitely not a boomy mess, but rather surprisingly well controlled. Bass quality in itself is okay, but of course lacks this deep sub-bass extension and clarity here. You do not really get this really deep sub-bass rumble, which is noticeable from time to time. Midrange is pretty unspectacular, but in a good way. The vocals are not shouty and instruments do not sound harsh fast. It's a bit veiled, which is fitting for the more relaxed sound, even though the lower midrange is a bit thicker than some listeners would like, I guess. I really like how smooth the midrange as a whole is. The negative thing here is that instruments tend to merge together sometimes. Vocals are again not too forward, and just as instruments fit well in the overall warm sound profile. So the EDX Pro X is certainly not the pinnacle of clarity, but it does keep a natural sound, which just sounds nice to listen to with most music. It's mostly about enjoyability here, and the Pro X does work with pretty much any genre. Treble falls in line here, there are no fatiguing peaks or excessive brightness, it's pretty much also more smooth than anything else. But there's also not much airiness here, and the treble does feel kinda blunted. Instruments like cymbals, for example, do not shine as much as they should. Sometimes especially female vocals cannot really shine through the mix. And as I already mentioned, because of the more laid back and kind of bassy approach of the tuning, the separation of instruments does suffer and details get lost here and there. Although for the price range, these still do well, and I thought that especially in gaming, the imaging was fine. I mean, I guess It's pretty similar with most IEMs in this price range, but at least it's not bad. Like, you can use this as an all-round IEM and it won't massively disappoint you in games. It's just that when a lot of stuff is happening in your like near proximity, then it's difficult to kind of differ between all the sounds and how close they are. But this is like, again, this is really dirt cheap here. So I'm gonna make two short comparisons here. And first, let's start with the KZ Castor Black. So the base version of the Castor. The Castor Black can easily get more bassy with the switches while still retaining some more bite in the instruments and vocal section. So everything is more forward, kind of cleaner and more aggressive in its overall tuning. And it also has a more impactful bass. On the other side, the Pro X here does have a smoother sound and is less fatiguing to listen to over longer times. Second comparison I wanted to make is with the 7Hz 02. The 02 has less bass and sounds just less boomy in the bass there. It has a cleaner mid-range that just offers you more clarity and a less thick sound with better treble extensions and more vocal presence. Again, just as the Castor, it sounds less smooth than the EDX Pro X though, and just the overall enjoyability of music, the Pro X here really works with nearly everything, and I can imagine a lot of people liking these. So that's it with this review. I hope that was somewhat helpful for you, and you're now able to decide if you want to buy the EDX Pro X or if you do not want to buy this IEM. So yeah, hope you have a great day and see you next time.